know we can do this together because I know this. There's nothing beyond our capacity.
Look, I don't know what he is completely capable of or capacity of, but the man is dangerous at this point. Let's talk about it, folks. There is some hilarious stuff, and there's some stuff we ought to be worried about. I apologize today for no New Zero Dark 30. Between the internet and YouTube and streaming capabilities, I wonder. Anyways, let's not worry about that. We'll push that off the side, and we're going to go after it right here and right now. It is a wild day out there for SHTF, for America, for our freedoms and liberties. And I want to start with something that'll bring a smile to your face, though. And oh, by the way, yes, I'm going to do my 30-minute monologue, and then you guys with your questions down below. You're live here every single day, Monday through Friday, live with me and everyone else, all of us together. It's not the zoo. You have to be a premium member. But if you're here, you're live. And get this, Charles Payne. If anyone knows who Charles Payne is, he's a very large guy, tall, big, wide, and black. Big old dude. And he's on Fox Business. At least that's when I seem to catch him. Anyways, he's an investment financial dude. Self-made. Pulled himself up out of nowhere and became one hell of a good man, entertainer, and investing type dude. Now, Charles Payne, folks, let Biden have it. And he dropped him like a sack of warm poop because he's been pandering for votes at a black church. And this is what Charles had to say. Quote, "Every time Biden is around black people, he looks like he wants to call the police." Just reading it makes me happy. It's absolutely hilarious. Right? When I see Trump around Hispanics or whites or blacks or anybody, he seems comfortable. He can be around those snake in the grass, sneaky bastard European politicians, and he always looked comfortable with who he was. It's incredible. But the Democrats, they're not comfortable at all, folks. Biden, yeah, if he's if he's around black people, he looks like he's going to want to call the police. When he's around white people, he just seems to have no capacity to do anything at all. So instead, Jill Biden, Dr. Jill Biden. Oh, Jill Biden was Biden's babysitter. Well, now she's his literal babysitter for Joe and changing his diaper. But she used to babysit his children by his first wife. Anyways, Dr. Jill, she was out campaigning in 3 different states for Joe. She's on the campaign trail, made 3 stops while Joe Biden made a call today and then took the rest of the day off. Starting to sound like 2020. But wait, Jill is campaigning, right? She's the president. No wonder Democrats are being called retarded. They don't even know who they're voting for. They're like, Joe Biden is a tranny now, wearing a blonde wig, screeching like a harpy. You know, unbelievable that Jill is actually at the microphone behind the podium. She is doing the campaigning for her doddering old fool of a husband who is suffering from incredible bouts of dementia. Now, folks, this is incredible. I want to read to you the difference between Trump and Biden and the Democrats. I've talked about it in the past. I said, what is the political platform? Why would anyone vote for a Democrat? What do they want? What do they like? What's their goal? Well, they want to put, let's see, instead of law and order on the streets, they want to put Antifa, BLM, and felons back on the street. No crime. We're not going to call anything a crime. Nothing's a crime, right? You can break any law you want, and they'll just let you go. No bail needed. No bail needed. I mean, what else do the Democrats like? Well, free abortions for everybody. Leave that southern border open and let all those illegals come up here. You know, rapists, murderers, terrorists, thieves. Crazy, right? Crazy. What else does he want? Send all of our weapons to Ukraine and give the Ukraine military training and then target Russian civilians. That's what they want. Is there anything that the Democrats and Joe Biden have in their platform besides corrupting young children and telling them to cut their genitals off? Woo, crazy. Well, here's President Trump's platform. Seal the border to stop the foreign terrorist illegal invasion. Deport these tens of millions of illegal, alien, criminal invaders who are also, these are the same rapists, murderers, terrorists, and let's just call them, welfare wannabes, because that's why they come up here, to get free stuff. His platform includes creating prosperity for middle-class families. Yep, that's not a bad idea. I don't hear Joe Biden talking about that. He's got his Build Back Better, but how's that working for you? I mean, Trump wants to slow down the out of control deficit spending. I personally, I don't agree with that. I don't think we should slow it down. I think we should stop it altogether. And he wants to drill, and keep drilling until we're energy independent, to be both the largest and, largest energy producer in the world. We ought to be doing that, folks. He wants to cut taxes for regular people like you and me and make no tax on tips for service workers. Well, wait a minute. I identify as a service worker. I provide service. We're going to have some fun with this one. Make America a manufacturing powerhouse again. Let's see. Stop endless wars, prevent World War III, and, instead of producing war, how about producing peace and mutually beneficial economic arrangements? How about these as an idea? Protect free speech. How about protect Christians, freedom of religion, and of course, uphold, defend the Second Amendment. Do you think those are fine ideas? How about this one? He says he will never, ever, ever again allow government to censor, ban, and persecute the American people. That's a tall order, because that's exactly what government wants to do. But Trump wants to lock up criminals, deport everybody that's a criminal, illegal alien. That's all of them, right? Now, he does want to protect the U.S. dollar and world reserve currency status. That's toast. Biden, I think, destroyed that. But we'll find out. How about reducing regulations which hurt economic activity? How about this one from Trump? Keep men out of women's sports. That's not good enough, Trump. I want to keep men out of women's bathrooms, keep them out of girls' locker rooms, keep them out of women's private spaces that are made for women. And also, I think that the gender question needs to be addressed. How about defining gender as what genitals you have? Gender, genitals. Leave the word sex out of it. Gender equals genitals, right? That you were born with. Boy, I tell you. And he wants to cut funding for schools, colleges, or any institution in the education world that has critical race theory, diversity, equity, inclusion, and or a transgender ideology curriculum. He wants to deport pro-Hamas protesters who preach violence, hatred of Jews, and anyone who chants death to America. I think that anybody who's from any other country that is here that joins in a protest that becomes violent, that they get to go back to their country on an airplane immediately. You want to be around a bunch of violent thugs? Okay, there you go. Now, of course, he wants to strengthen the military. He wants to protect Social Security and Medicare and rebuild cities that Democrat policies have destroyed. Unfortunately, the president of the United States can't tell mayors what to do. nor can he tell governors what to do. That was evidenced in 2020 when mayors who were Democrats and governors who were Democrats allowed BLM, Black Lives Matter, they allowed Antifa, they allowed college radicals, communists, to burn, loot, and murder, unfortunately. And Trump wants to unite our country. And there is no way in hell Trump is going to be able to do that. That's probably the least likely thing that can happen. Unite the country? It's full of anti-American, American-hating, communist pieces of crap. Your neighbors, my neighbors out here, out there, up there, over there, up there, all the Democrats in our world hate this country because, well, they voted for people who hate this country. Why would you vote for somebody who hates America, does everything they can to destroy America, to cause us to be victimized by terrorist invaders who give our money away, open the border, and allow girls to be raped by illegals, as well as by transgenders and LGBT people pretending to be girls, going into girls' bathrooms and then raping them? The whole country's being raped, folks. The whole country. Am I wrong? Right? So I think Trump's platform is pretty good. Pretty good, all things considered. I mean, considering the president in the office right now, Biden, is doing everything he can to destroy it. He should be able to run on a platform of, I'm going to do the opposite of what Joe Biden did. That would do it. It's like, do you like what Joe Biden's done? Well, I'm going to do the opposite. Crazy, folks. Trump he's reached out to Republican lawyers. He wants them to sue everywhere in the country to stop illegals from voting and to stop the Democrats from cheating. Folks, he says this, quote, that's how they get an incapacitated moron like Joe Biden elected. Those are the words of Trump. He called the president an incapacitated moron. Well, he has a capacity to do lots of stuff. Now, I like that Trump called him out for what he is. I like that he used some nasty words. I hope feelings are hurt. I hope left-wingers are crying. Folks, Trump is a fighter. I mean, would you rather have Mittens Romney, the sellout liar, as the candidate? Or maybe another loser Republican in the race who would do absolutely nothing for nobody? Because that's what we've got. Losers who will do nothing for nobody but themselves. Who else is there in the Republican Party? I know DeSantis is a great candidate, but we need someone who's going to stand up and fight right now. Fight for our country. Now, this was interesting. I got to share this one with you. A sailor in the Navy, an enlisted sailor, made multiple attempts to break into Joe Biden's computerized medical records at a naval medical facility. Now, look, I am not going to glamorize illegal activity. I'm not going to promote it. But I tell you what, I applaud the effort. And what effort is that? To be a criminal? No. I want to applaud his effort to expose Biden as being unfit for office. Yes, his actions were illegal, but Biden, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many people, is a traitor. So I applaud the effort to help America. But kids, don't try this, or you could be erasinated by Biden. Remember, Congress, Democrat congressional members in the House and the Senate, Hollyweird idiots, television media personalities are screaming that Biden should assassinate Trump, congressional members, and Supreme Court justices. So I call that erasinated. Wow, folks. It is that crazy out there. That crazy. Now, there was a prepared mind prediction, a prepared mind observation, right? And that was that in swing districts, or rather congressional districts, where it's a very close race. I don't want to call them swing districts like the media does, because, sounds kind of swingerish. Sounds something a bunch of monkeypox, butt pirate infested people would have as a swing district. So in closely contested congressional races, they are deathly afraid that Biden's campaign, which has no enthusiasm, is going to leave them at risk because of low turnout. Low turnout is the worry that they have. He's a loser. Biden's a loser, and they're worried about low turnout. They consider themselves shell-shocked, and Democrats are crying literally in the streets again as reality has began to set in, that they can't get rid of Biden. I mean, they could have, but they've waited too long. Now they're stuck with Biden and Kamala. They can get rid of get rid of Joe, I guess, and keep Kamala, but she polls very, very poorly. Woo, I tell you, folks, this is turning out to be one heck of a shit show. It truly is. The poor little Democrats, ooh, we've got a bad candidate. Guess what? They're going to cheat. There is no stopping it. We can minimize it, we can reduce it, but Democrats are willing to cheat, lie, cheat, and steal. In fact, a former Biden staffer, someone who worked for Biden as his stenographer, has made the claim that Joe Biden actually blackmailed Barack Obama. He blackmailed him and said he would expose his alleged homosexual affairs. Well, wait a minute. Is having a tranny as a partner, does that make you gay? I mean, isn't Michelle Obama identifying as a woman? So Biden shook down gay Obama. How about that? LG Obama. Unbelievable, folks. That's how low Biden is. That's how these people play, folks. That is how they win their power and then keep it. They will lie. They will cheat. They will steal the election. And Chuck Schumer, that's right, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schmalzy Schumer, has basically come out, and he wants to strip President Trump of his immunity. Now, the media is calling it court-granted immunity. It's not court-granted, it's court-recognized immunity, right? The intelligent mind says if someone's doing their official duty that they're authorized to do, how can that be illegal? How can that be criminal? Well, Chuck Schumer wants to take everything Trump did and then say it was illegal. They want to make the office of the president, the actions of the president, the authority of the president illegal. That way they can look back at Trump and say, we have deauthorized your activities. Therefore, what you did as president is now criminal. And Chuck wants to send him to jail. Number one, this is some of the most unlawful, and by law, I mean just unbelievably stupid. And by the way, this is government interference in our own election. This violates the concept of separation of powers. You can't change the Constitution with reference and in regard to the president's duty and authority as a congressman. You have to do what? A constitutional amendment. That is the only way to change the Constitution. That's the only way to change the Constitution. But they think that they, as Congress, can say the president's duties are criminal. Well, then they need to go back and arrest Obama and Bush and Clinton. And they may as well arrest Jimmy Carter, too. He's still alive. Isn't that unbelievable? Old peanut farmer's still alive. He doesn't look like a peanut anymore. Now he kind of looks like a dried up white raisin. Anyways, folks, this is lawless. There's a concept within law, and it's within the American jurisprudence. It's known as ex post facto. And what it states, what it means is the government may not pass a law today and then have it go back and affect past actions. In other words, you can't criminalize history. Chuck Schumer is an absolute moron, and he's a liar. And that's not going to change, folks. It's not going to get any better. This is what they want. They want to cheat. They will lie. And they will steal the election unless you and I stand up and do something about it. Get active. We're going to need to get active. We truly are. Now, the Republicans in Congress, I think that they have absolutely failed with Mayorkas and Merrick Garland. They had a chance. They could have arrested him, brought him in, and said, you have committed a crime. He actually has committed a crime, right? I don't know why Petty Garland isn't under arrest for obstruction of justice, obstruction of official government business, right? Obstruction of official government business in disciplining a pubic servant, right? What they want to do, though, the Republicans, is adopt an amendment to reduce Pedo Garland's salary to $1 until he releases the Biden-Hur tapes. What are the Biden-Hur tapes? Well, Special Investigator Robert Hur, H-U-R, not H-E-R-S-H-E, but H-U-R. He interviewed Biden to determine if he committed any crimes. Well, Special Investigator Hur said that Biden did, but that he's not fit to stand trial. He's just an old man. Well, if he's fit for the office, fit to serve as the head executive of the United States government, then I say he's fit to stand trial for his crimes. So the Republicans in Congress, they control the House of Republicans anyways. So House Republicans want those tapes. But Attorney General Jackass Garland is saying no. He's defying the congressional subpoena. In other words, he is obstructing justice. He is obstructing official government business regarding an official government servant, Biden. Never forget that presidents and senators and congressmen and judges are public servants. I think it's a fine title to make sure they understand that we know who they are and what their role is. They are not our masters. They are not our sovereigns. They are not our aristocracy or our kings and queens. They are nothing more than public servants, lowly public servants. The idea was that they could serve as long as they obeyed their oath with some honor and dignity in protecting the country. Instead, what do? They enrich themselves at our cost to their benefit. They take for themselves power and authority. They create multitudes of government offices and employ them with multitudes of appointed bureaucrats who eat out of the public trough at our expense. And they empower these public servants, tens of thousands of them. They empower them and try to give them authority over us. It's disgusting. And that is what government does. And that is why the founding fathers made government this powerful, and the people retain their authority. Government power? the people's power, right? As long as I'm not hurting anybody, you cannot stop me. Don't bother me. Leave me alone. I should be secure in my papers, persons, property, right? We all understand that Fourth and Fifth Amendment stuff. Can't come and arrest me without search warrant or evidence of a crime. Can't take my guns. That's property. I have the right to life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, to exercise free speech, practice my religion, and carry a gun. To keep and bear arms, which shall not be infringed by government. But I love it when people go, well, we have the National Firearms Act, and you can't have automatic weapons out there. Well, actually, you can. You have to get a permit. But they shouldn't have to have a permit. The government should have no authority over whether or not your shotgun has an 18.5-inch barrel or a 14-inch barrel. They shouldn't have any authority over your, shall we say, revolvers or automatic pistols. I don't think that guns should have serial numbers. Mandatory. If you want to stamp your weapon with a serial number for your own purposes, I think that's fine. It's up to you. I don't think my property should have to have a serial number on it. I think that's presumptuous on the part of government, and it's a violation of my rights, and it's a violation of the rights of businessmen, and it's a violation of the rights of manufacturers to have to do such things. But government thinks that's its job, to tell us what to do. Now, to conclude the monologue, I want to talk about what is going on over in Europe a little bit. China, that's right, China and Belarus are holding a military exercise together near the border of Poland and Ukraine. That's right, China, folks, the Chinese military. And by the way, North Korea is sending engineering units to Russia. North Korea is sending military engineering units into Russia. I want to know if NATO and Zelensky is willing to risk killing foreign troops with all those weapons that Washington, D.C. has gifted them with. Does NATO dare to shoot military weapons into Belarus? Do they dare shoot weapons into Russia and risk killing North Koreans? Now, North Koreans are stinking, smelly-ass communists, but I'm not going to dehumanize them, right? That's murder if they send weapons over and kill them. And then North Korea would have, well, every justification needed to commit acts of war against the rest of the world. Notice I didn't say terror, but acts of war. We've got ourselves in quite a pickle, folks, quite a pickle. And I don't like it. I don't like it a bit. Anyways, World War III watch is going, and then SHTF watch is also going full strength. Full strength in France, folks. Emmanuel Macron, who married apparently his uncle. Thought it was his grandmother. Turns out it must be his uncle. Emmanuel Macron is allowing Antifa and pro-Palestinian, pro-terrorist scumbags to burn cities. That's right. Because Macron is losing power, he is now allowing the French Republic to burn. Because Macron and the elites are willing to rule over the ashes of burned civilizations. We've called it scorched earth, haven't we? If they can't have it, the elites, if they can't have it, then no one can have it. No one's allowed to live in a decent world. Have you noticed that everything they do is to tax us, take away our cars, stop farming? Do you know how many billions of tons of carbon dioxide are belched into the atmosphere every year by volcanoes? Billions of tons. And they want to complain about some cow farts. Cow farts. They want to shut down our food system. If they can't have it, no one can, right? That's what they want, folks. No one can have a decent world. Government and tyrants are mentally ill, and they believe in scorched earth and destroying everything if they can't have it. Right, Hillary? Right, Schumer and Pelosi? Right, DC and DC bureaucrats? That's what they think. That's why you and I find ourselves in this situation right here today, looking at the world going, what the hell is going on? It's a great question, don't you think? What the hell is going on? Now, what do you want to talk about? What is on your mind? What are you thinking about? History, the future, current events? Are you prepared with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and means of self-defense? I sure hope so. Well, let's do this. Let's go to the inner circle and see what you want to talk about. All righty, Uman says we got lots to talk about here, but it doesn't matter. Get your questions and thoughts in anyways. Mr. Uman, just give me a thumbs up, thumbs down on yours whenever we get there. Oh, great. Uman wants to address the volcanic question about carbon dioxide. He says, one volcanic burp, just one, wipes out all of the carbon dioxide savings we've made in over 20 years. You know what the solution is? The solution to our problem is to get rid of dihydrogen oxide. Do you know how dangerous that crap is? If you think carbon dioxide is bad, how about dihydrogen oxide? You guys know what that is? Do you know what dihydrogen oxide is, Uman? Yep, water. H2O. I mean, maybe you could call it hydrogen dioxide, or hydrogen oxide. But, you know, that would say that there's only two genders if it's bi. Anyways, yeah, just one volcano. All the savings, all the bullshit that we made in 20 years is destroyed, wiped out by one volcanic poof explosion. There's over a dozen active volcanoes right now, and they erupt frequently, belching out carbon dioxide every year, year after year, decade after decade, century after century. So what is it that man thinks he's done? What is it that man thinks cows have done that is going to change anything? See, it's not about carbon dioxide. It's about taxes. It's not about cow farts. It's about control. It's not about freedom. It's about their desire to control and destroy us, period. Anyways, thanks, Mr. Uman. A volcanic burp. Now, I do know what volcanoes do. They spew out all that ash and carbon dioxide, not to mention also noxious gases, sulfurous compounds, and chlorine. That's right, chlorine. Yeesh, right? Noxious gases. Look out. Okay, Mr. Uman, where do we want to roll next? What's out there? And we've got name redacted. And he says, I'm noticing more and more content geared to normies about CW. Civil War. CW. More and more content geared to normies about Civil War. It's all too familiar. It's the Jim Jones juice recipe. And I don't like it. It tastes of agency. Yeah, you bet. But I got to tell you, people are getting tired. They're waking up. And in fact, I think I covered this today, unfortunately, and it didn't make it onto Zero Dark 30 because of internet burps and YouTube bull poop. Anyways, yes, more content geared to normies. They want civil war on the tips of our tongues. They want race war on the tips of our tongues. Yes, they do. Folks, government is lawless. Lawless. They're being lawless. And it's not going to get better. This is what they're doing. This is what they want. They want us fighting each other and not paying attention to government. They want us worried about our neighbor instead of worrying about, well, lawless government. It's not going to change, folks. In fact, they're going to accelerate it. As Joe Biden's failures become a bigger and bigger public spectacle, they'll need to distract us. I really think that we're in for some rude awakenings, aka false flag attacks. I think they're coming. Are you prepared for it? What do you need? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. We need those things. We need to have a plan. We need to understand the 10 miles around us, the 10-mile radius, because those people can be in our front yard after marching one day. So yes, we need to understand the normies around us, whether they're Republican normies or Democrat, normal Democrats. Normal Democrats are all dipshits. How anyone could vote for Biden, support Biden? How about donating money to Biden? Why would anyone do that? I think I donate plenty with taxes, and I don't like taxes. I am very concerned for Trump and his safety. I am surprised there hasn't been any literal assassination attempts. But let me say this, right? If they were to take a shot, anyone's to take a shot at Trump and not kill him, guess what? Guess what? The man will become more popular if he's shot. And I wonder at his functions. And, I often wonder, is Trump kind of thick, rotund? Is he overweight? I know he's a big guy, period. But perhaps he's wearing some very high-tech, bulletproof clothing underneath. I would maybe expect that. But, wow, what a world we live in when that's the greatest hope of the Democrat Party. Think about it. What do they have to hope for? Well, we're going to cheat all we can, but we need Biden to come out and be fiery and tough and smart and witty and quick and have all the answers. He will never have any of that. That'll never happen. Let's replace him with anybody. Anybody. Gavin Newsom, Michelle Obama, Gretchen Whitmer, anybody. Nope, can't do that. Shit. So then they go, okay, well, we'll just settle for Kamala Harris. Wait a minute. She polls terribly. She's horrifying. She's a disgrace. She's a diversity, equity, and inclusion candidate. That's all she is. Period. Hell, she ran as a Democrat for president, and even then, she couldn't get 1% of the Democrat votes. Yeah, we have an issue. Content on YouTube, content on Instagram or X or Facebook. Yeah, they're starting to let all this stuff slip out. I think that's why they push the race war crap. That's why they're pushing it, right? They want people to be aggravated and to treat each other like shit. They're not satisfied with political hatred. They want racial hatred and gender hatred and age hatred. You see, I want to protect the genders. I do. I think men should be protected, and I think women should be protected. And women should be protected from men pretending to be women, right? I think that is better for the country. Anyways, having fun with it. What is on your mind? Down below is where you put your comments, your thoughts. What have you seen today? What have you heard from your neighbor, heard from family, or even heard from a coworker? Are people talking about what's going on out there? When you listen, do you hear them talking about civil war or state secession? Do you hear friends, family, coworkers talking about the southern border? Talking about inflation, hard times? It's quite interesting. What you will hear, just ask a question. I don't want to call this a dare, but Ask your coworkers, go, hey, what do you think of Build Back Better? And see what their answer is. Let them defend Joe Biden if they're Democrats. Hey, how does this open border policy make America a better place? You can ask that question. Ask them. Be brave. Make them defend it. How does it make it a better place? Well, they have a right to be here. No. But how does that make America a better place? Well, they have a right to be. They're coming. They're this. They're that. They're political refugees. Yeah, but how does that make this country better? Well, diversity is good for America. Oh, well, why don't they stay in their third world countries and let their skills and their diversity make their own country better? Right? So that we don't have to send American money over to other countries to support them. There's just so many good ways to bring up the conversation. And if you are brave, if you do speak up, guess what? People around you will respect that. Respect it. Right? That's interesting. I don't ever hear a Democrat say anything that people go, oh yeah, I respect that. No, people are like, that's what you believe? Are you fucking stupid? Right? So the Democrats that are around me, they don't say a word. I know they're there. They're out there, folks. They're out there. And they don't say a fucking word. I sit next to them in meetings. And I know what they are. And I say what I want to say, and I don't give a shit. And they don't have a word to say to me. You want to know why? It's not because I'm 6'6" and 280 pounds. That's not the reason why. Well, it might be. But also, when you're witless, you're not going to win a battle of wits. They can't defend what's going on because what they claim it is, it isn't. Right? Well, the open border is good because, the president has the authority to do that. That's what makes it okay. Oh, does the president have the authority to do that? Or is the president charged with protecting the nation? Well, that's right. His job is to keep the border controlled and protect our nation. It's part of the Constitution. Look it up, you idiot. Anyways, I'm rambling again. Mr. Uman, where shall we go next? What's the topic out there? What do we want to have? And it's Mr. Diving Frog. And he said, John, my dad helped Steny Hoyer get elected to the state house in the 1970s. Who is Steny Hoyer? Steny Hoyer believes that unelected bureaucrats, elitists, bankers, corporate scumbags are patriots. Here's what Steny Hoyer says.
They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the president. The deep state. We were told the deep state was a conspiracy theory. That there is no such thing as the deep state. No, there's no deep state, you bunch of silly, ridiculous Americans. That's all conspiracy talk from right-wing, radical, white supremacist Nazis. Oh, but then why did a Democrat, Steny Hoyer, try and defend and even prop up the deep state? Well, Mr. Diving Frog's dad helped get him elected in the 70s. 70s, folks. That means he's been in office 40 plus years. Wow. And Diving Frog said his dad also said that in the end, he regretted helping Steny Hoyer get elected because he was not an honest man. Whoops. I really believe that all politicians, folks, should have to submit everything about themselves, their money, their wealth, their property, their investments, so that we can see it. How is it that a fully retarded bartender named Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had basically zero money
gets elected to Congress, and now she's a multi-millionaire. How the fuck did that happen? How did that happen? Every politician in D.C. has feathered their nest, has enriched themselves at taxpayer expense, has done insider trading, held out their hand, accepted bribes perhaps, extorted money out of constituents. Yeah, folks, I think they're absolute scum, all of them. Every last one of them. It's crazy, folks. This story just popped up on my computer. Karine Jean-Pierre, another government-appointed liar. Karine Jean-Pierre, the non-American lesbian black lady who stands in front of a podium every day and lies to the American people and lies to the media. She looks like she's got a head full of burnt French fries. She looks like Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons on a bad day. Anyways, what she did was she confirmed that in the event of a nuclear missile attack in the middle of the night, Joe Biden is not, I repeat, Joe Biden is not the first person contacted. I find that fascinating. Number one, how would Karine Jean-Pierre know that? She doesn't seem to know anything else. She is also, like AOC, retarded. She's got a clever, smart little mouth, but she is retarded. Anyways, it's just a big wow, isn't it? Wow. Now, I am pro-America, and I love all things American. Mack trucks, Peterbilt trucks, right? Kenworth trucks. Those are American things. Ford, Chevy, right? Those are American things. Dodge, very American. Well, we're finding out that a lot of American things aren't so American or aren't so pro-American, right? We've talked about Dick's Sporting Goods, Coca-Cola, Be Less White. We've discovered that Disney wants to have your children entertained by fat old white men dressing up like princesses in Disneyland, and then having drag queens seducing children and getting them to touch. They like that stuff. Well, get this, folks. An American iconographic, I don't know, is that a word? Yeah, I think so. That sounds like an adjective to me. An iconic, there we go, American corporation has decided that they are going to sponsor diversity, equity, and inclusion wokeness. Well, it's John Deere. That's right, John Deere. John Deere Tractor is sponsoring wokeness at the same time that they're firing their American workers. They're closing down American jobs and sending their factories to Mexico. So John Deere Green is no longer John Deere Green. Nope. It's John Verde Green. You bet. It's Juan Verde Green. It's not John Deere anymore. Juan Verde. Wow. How American is that? I don't think any of the cars on American roads should be made in other countries. I really don't. In order to promote American business, American jobs, American wages, the government of the United States used to put a tariff on foreign-made products so that the prices were competitive, the same, and then Americans could choose. Do I want to support American lives, jobs, businesses, and our nation? Or do I want to send my money to another country? That was the point of tariffs. It was a way for the government to collect taxes and support its functions instead of taxing us as workers and then allowing corporations to send their jobs offshore and send back cheap products and then overcharge us for them anyways. Wow, folks. Wow. It is one hell of a crazy world we live in. All right. Hey, Mr. Uman, I kind of stepped off the plantation there. Let's see what Chin Music has to say. And he says, Democrats are fucked. If they admit Joe Mencia is compromised, he will have to go now, not later. And that's just it. They said, wait a minute, Joe, you had a Parkinson's specialist come to the White House a dozen times since 2022, and I think 10 times just in the last 12 months. Well, wait a moment. No, they're saying it's not Parkinson's. So what would a Parkinson's physician do? Well, I'm sure he knows a little bit about dementia now that he's visited Joe. Anyways, isn't it amazing? To me, hypocrisy is one of the most filthy things on the planet. And the Democrats saw Trump stumble once in his presidency, and they screamed he wasn't fit for office. They looked at his age and said, Trump is too old. He is not competent to be the president of the United States. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Fishnet Stockings Milli Vanilli, General Milli Vanilli, fruitcake of a general, told the Chinese military mirror to himself, the Chinese equivalent of the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, that don't worry, if the president orders an attack on China, we won't follow his orders. Well, why? Why is that? Oh, because he's crazy. He's angry. Wait a minute. Have they listened to Joe Biden? That is one crazy old man who has dementia, who, if questioned in a fashion that he doesn't agree with, will yell at people. Now, look, if someone found me on the street and they wanted to be an absolute dickhead, I might yell at them and shout them down and just tell them to shut the fuck up and get out of my face. But I'm not the president. I'm not the governor. I'm not even the mayor. So I don't have to behave well. It's not my job. I'm not required. But if you're representing the country, that's a whole nother thing. And Trump never appeared to be angry and yelling at anyone. But hey, we're not going to obey him. But yeah, let's get back to Chen Music's comment. Joe Mencia, boy, is compromised, right? If something proves that he has the incapacity to not do his job, he will have to go. They don't want to do it now. You want to know why? I'll tell you why right now. Here it is. Here's the article. It's an Emerson poll. Trump is beating Biden. Horrifyingly bad. But guess what? Any other potential Democrat that would replace him is even worse. Especially Camel Toes, the Ho Harris. Yeah, that's it. I mean, as bad as Joe is, as old as he is, as white as he is, as racist as he is, nobody else polls any better. In fact, they're worse. Nobody wants to vote for any of the other candidates, and they don't even really want to vote for Joe. They certainly don't like Kamala Harris. I guess that would make Democrats racist. Racist. I'm gonna do a Mark Dice. Racist. That's what he is. He's a racist piece of shit. Democrats are racist because they aren't going to vote for a black woman. Well, she's not black. But enough men have said she's a woman that I'm going to take them at their word. Anyways, that's what happened, man. They're not going to get rid of him, Chen. They can't afford to. Isn't that just fucking fabulous? The most unpopular incumbent president in the last 100 years or even more, the least popular guy who is suffering from mental incompetence, dementia, who is a bald-faced liar, a plagiarist, who has been disqualified from running in Democrat primaries years and years ago, decades ago, because he lies. That's the best they have. That is a sorry ass indictment. Crazy. Now, I want to give you a bit of good news. We're right here. Chin, hang on to that. You're going to love this shit. I love giving you guys breaking news, right? Breaking news. Wait, I got to do it. I got to do some kind of breaking news thing. Here we go. And now, breaking news. In the state of Idaho, the governor has decided that they will be the first state in which the chief executive, the executive in charge, that would be the governor, by the way, Governor Little is going to take action, executive action, and say that only citizens will vote. That's right, an executive order, only citizens will vote. He's the first one. Even Governor DeSantis in the great state of Florida, where my bunker is buried at, hasn't done that. Neither is Governor Abbott, nor Governor Naomi or anyone else. Good for Idaho. And fuck the Democrats, because they are bringing in illegals, because that's their future constituents and their votes now. I'm glad that Governor Little of Idaho has made this move. Woo! What a deal. Hey, man, what do you think of that? What do you... I tell you what, he gives it the thumbs up. Good deal. Good deal. Yeah, I really find that fascinating. Why haven't anyone else? It seems like the president can take whatever action he wants. He can disobey the Constitution, open the border. He can threaten Americans with losing their government benefits. No problem. Thanks. Appreciate that. There's rules for thee, but not for those in power, right? And in fact, it's kind of funny watching the Democrats when they finally have to be held accountable. For example, Alec Baldwin, he basically got out of trouble, got like a kind of a get out of jail free card, right? Well, they're now doing jury selection, and I don't know how you shoot someone with a gun and then pretend it wasn't you and you didn't do it and it's not your fault, right? You can't say, well, someone else handed me the gun and I didn't know it was loaded, right? That doesn't work for anyone. Well, it almost worked for him, but thankfully they're going to try and hold this scoundrel accountable. But if they, meaning the government, prosecutors, if they can hold Alec Baldwin accountable for his crimes, shouldn't they hold Biden accountable for his crimes? How about Mayorkas? Shouldn't he be held accountable for his crimes? And Attorney General Garland and his crimes? It's that kind of world, folks. Listen, chance favors the prepared mind. Understand what is going on out there in our world. But what you need to do, what we can do, no matter what the emergency is, whether it's created by the government, or some wacko college student radicals, or some other racist bastards, or if it's World War III, or if it's asteroids, aliens, dinosaurs, or creatures from the center of the earth, it doesn't matter. The same things apply: food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and your right to defend yourself using the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment, not just for breakfast anymore. Woo, I tell you. Let's do this. I'm going to check out. I'm going to see if I can get the internet to work and get you a Zero Dark 30 broadcast tomorrow. It just depends on where I go in the state of Florida, I suppose. I guess out there in the Everglades or maybe up in the estuaries, there's just not good internet connectivity. But I'll do my best, because I want to always be talking with you guys and listening to what you have to say to me. And thank you one and all for supporting and sponsoring the Prepared Mind channel and what we do right here. Godspeed, God bless America, and Semper Fi.